Bonjour everyone, my name is Noah and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be addressing a topic that is probably the thing that I get most questions about from men on every single social media platform that I'm on, and it's manscaping, grooming, body hair, all that stuff. I feel like I've come a long way when it comes to body hair and how confident I am in it. I am naturally very hairy. I'm of North African descent and we're just known to be hairy. And when I was younger, I hated it. I shaved my body to be smooth all the time. I didn't want facial hair. My eyebrows were knotted. And slowly with the years, I found some confidence in having body hair. I think it looks good and I take pride in knowing and learning how to take care of it to make it look like it's taken care of and not like it's just growing and I'm not paying attention. So I thought that I would make a video about it to answer all the questions that I'm getting on social media. We're going to be covering a couple of different areas: haircut, eyebrows, beard, facial hair, and then body hair. I also asked you guys on Instagram if you had any specific question when it comes to manscaping, so I'm going to be answering a few of those. I was going to film this vlogging style because I'm just like in a vlogging spree. I haven't done a sit down video in a while, but I'm realizing that it probably doesn't make sense and I just need to sit down and talk about it with you guys. So grab a drink, grab some food, we're gonna chat hair and let's get ourselves cleaned up, okay? So the first topic I'm going to address is the haircut part. I have been getting this haircut for a little over a year now. I used to have kind of long hair and then went to a buzz cut and now I do this fade. Some people call it a military fade. I just call it a skin fade. And a lot of people always ask me how to ask your barber to get that haircut. So these are the instructions. The measurements are probably going to be different for everyone. Like do whatever works for your face shape and whatever you're into. I ask for 2.5 at the top and then a medium skin fade on the sides and at the back. I haven't had a haircut in like almost a week now, so my hair grows really fast, but after I get a haircut, this is usually like skin and then it slowly fades into the 2.5. My hair is pretty thick naturally and super dark, so a 2.5 is super short, but it doesn't look like I'm bald, so just test it out. Ask your barber whatever length he thinks would be good, and yeah, that's what I get. I actually get a haircut weekly, which is probably a little dramatic and extra of me. You know how you feel after a fresh fade, like you just feel confident, and it became my little weekly routine. I treat myself to a haircut. I have a really good barber here in LA who is super fast, knows what I'm getting, and does it well every week, so I go weekly, but you can probably get away with every 2 or 3 weeks. My hair just grows really fast and my nails do too. The second topic, and it's probably the one thing that is talked about the most on my pictures, is actually my eyebrows. And it is kind of funny to me because my eyebrows used to be my biggest insecurity when I was a kid. They do not look like this naturally. I have really thick bushy eyebrows, or actually one eyebrow because it meets right here in the center. When I was a kid, I used to have these 2 thick brows. People used to call them caterpillars, and like they always make fun of my unibrow. Anyway, so with the years, I learned how to shape my brows. I don't get them done. I've never gotten them done by someone, like threaded or waxed or anything. I actually just pluck them using tweezers. It might take a little bit longer, but it's very precise and it lets you kind of decide which piece of hair you want to keep and which you don't, so you can like actually draw on a shape. Because I have really thick eyebrows naturally, it was easy for me to like take away and kind of build the shape that I wanted. I've been through a bunch of iterations throughout the years. They used to be like really short. Anyway, this is the secret. I just use tweezers. I pluck them in the middle to make sure that I don't have that unibrow, and then a little bit underneath here to kind of create that arch, and then at the top to make them a little thinner here so that they look a little bit more arched and thin, and that's about it. These tweezers are my secret though. If you look at them, they're really, really pointy and thin at the bottom. Usually tweezers have like a flat end, but this is like a pointy end and it hurts. Sal actually found those on Amazon and I was skeptical at first. I was like, why do I need to stab myself every time I try to take a piece of hair? But if you've tweezed your eyebrows before, you know that the regular tweezers always like miss hair here and there and it gets really frustrating. These ones, you secure the piece of hair and you pull it and that's that's it. So it saves a lot of time, it's very precise, and these are my favorite. So I'll link those in the description box down below. I think it's just on Amazon. It's also kind of addicting to tweeze your eyebrows, and the one thing that you have to be careful with is not to overdo it. It's super easy to be like, oh, I can take that one out, and then you end up with just like weird looking eyebrows. So take it slow, take it easy, maybe do it over like a period of a few days just to figure out exactly the shape that you want and not overdo it. I basically just like shape them once and then it's just upkeep. So like whenever I see that there's a little bit too much hair in the middle or a few strings are growing on the sides, I would do it. So I would say like maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. I just have that on hand, and whenever I see a piece of hair, we get rid of it. Tame those brows. So we did hair, we did brows, and now we're going down the face, and it's the facial hair. If you're watching my YouTube videos, I talked in a vlog recently about how I wanted to grow my facial hair a little more. This is a lot more than I used to keep. I used to have really no facial hair because it just doesn't connect, and I thought it looked a little weird. But I'm learning to like it, and I feel like I look so young and so weird when I'm clean shaved. So I have a little bit of, not a beard, but just some facial hair on there. But I do keep it trimmed because it grows and it looks like long and it looks a little dirty, and like I haven't cleaned up and showered in a while, so I have to keep it upkept. Now the difficulty with keeping facial hair and having a skin fade is that it looks stupid really quickly. When I get a haircut and this is like fade skin level, and then there's hair right here that starts, it just looks weird. So I basically have to fade my beard. To do that and to do actually all of my body hair trimming, I use the same tool, and it's the Philips One Blade. I've been using this razor slash trimmer for years now, and it's my absolute favorite. It's broken a few times over the years. I just buy it again because it's that good. So if you look at it, it comes with one blade, as the name says, but it also comes with a bunch of attachments. The version that I have right now is the face and body one blade. So basically the attachments that come also have a body trimmer, which we'll talk about in a little bit later, but this is my favorite version so far. To achieve this look and kind of the fade into my fade, I use 3 of those little things. I use the number 3, the number 2, and the number 1, these ones. I usually just do number 3 all around my beard. So that's just to make sure that my hair doesn't look too long and that it looks clean, but there's still facial hair. 3 is pretty long. Then I'm gonna take number 2 and I shave a few areas with number 2. I start fading a little bit here so that it's not like an aggressive separation with my haircut. I do my mustache with a 2 because the 3 doesn't really catch any hair and then it just ends up looking weird. So I usually do the mustache with a 2, and then what I like to do is do a little bit here on the cheek so that again it doesn't look like a clean cut separation. And I also do my jawline. So literally just go around the jawline with the number 2 so that it doesn't look too sharp. And then we move on to number 1, and that's really just for the fade part. I usually just do this part with number 1 to complete the fade. I then take the same razor without any attachment to do a little bit of cleanup. So I would clean up my cheek because my cheek is actually very hairy. Like the hair comes all the way here. So yeah, now I just shave it right here to have a clean cheek, and I also line my beard at the bottom. Not everyone does that. I feel like some people usually just keep a beard underneath their neck. The reason I do it is because it allows me to draw a sharper jawline, which is just like a straight cut here, and then I do the same thing here so that it has this kind of angular. Catfish 101. Maybe that should be the name of the video. Now moving on to body hair, which is probably the most asked question that I get in my DMs. As I said earlier in the video, I used to just shave everything, and I do feel like there are some good reasons to do that. I mean, if you're a swimmer, it's better. If you're like into bodybuilding and just like want to show off muscle, typically being clean shaved shows shadows and shapes a little better. So you look a little more buff when you're all shaved. So if that's what you want, go for it. Now, I feel like because I'm like naturally kind of twinky and thin and a little too skinny, I like having body hair because it gives me a little different look. Now, just like every part of my body, I get really hairy in basically every area. So I kind of get to decide where I want to keep hair, where I don't, and how long I want it to be. I'm not going to demonstrate anything because I don't want my channel to be flagged and deleted like they're threatening to do to my Instagram Instagram, but I'll kind of explain the process to you guys. So in terms of length, it's basically the same everywhere, and I use the same tool, one blade. The only difference is that I would use the body part. This body attachment is a lot longer than the rest would be. I think it would compare to a number 5, which is also another attachment that they have, and the shape is just meant for body. The thing that helps with this trimmer, even though it's pretty small, is that you can go back and forth, and that makes it a lot quicker. So I usually just use this attachment, and I'm gonna do the chest, the abs, like all the torso, and I'm usually not gonna touch the legs. The sun just set, so let me make a quick lighting adjustment. Wow, so much better. And then there are some other regions that I actually shave like without any attachment, just because I don't want hair there. So my feet I shave, and then my back. I just think back hair is not cute. Like other areas can look good, but the back just doesn't look good to me. So I usually just do the back, and I started to do the shoulders because the shoulders are starting to get very hairy. And then for the parts that I'm not allowed to talk about, which were probably 80% of the questions that I got on Instagram when I asked, meaning the pubes and the butt. Why am I so shy all of a sudden? I mean, it's up to you. I don't want to talk about it. I usually, for pubes, oh my god, mom, please tell me you're not watching this. So for pubes, I usually like to do a number 2, like all over. But then for the, you know, I like clean shaved. I didn't know it was gonna be that awkward, but it's scary because you can cut yourself there. So I usually use this attachment, and this one saved my life. It came with the body trimmer thing, and you basically put it on, and it doesn't add any length to it. It just protects whatever area of your skin you're shaving so that you don't get cuts. You can't get a cut with this little attachment, but it's still like a clean shave. So I would usually use that around, you know. And for the back, I used to actually hate hair on my butt. I just thought it didn't look good, but I changed my mind. I think it looks good, so I usually don't even trim it. For the areas that you would want shaved though, you would use this attachment. Am I clear? Like if you want it a clean shaved, like for whatever reason, then use this attachment so that you don't have a cut, because that would be painful. So I think that's about it for my routine all over. So it's basically all of these products, which will be in the description box down below. But there's still a couple of questions that you guys asked that I haven't answered yet. So let's just do a little manscaping Q&A. The first question, and it came up multiple times, was around confidence about body hair, especially since a lot of the media and the modeling industry tends to show us men with very smooth, clean-shaved bodies. As I said in the beginning of this video, and maybe all throughout, it's not something that happened one day or that I was born with. I used to be very, very insecure about my facial hair, body hair, and it honestly took a long time for me to start being comfortable with it. I think it came from diversifying the kind of media that I was looking at. The media that shows this smooth, clean-shaved man tends to be just Western white media. So if you branch out a little more for any of your media consumption, you're gonna start seeing a little bit more diversity in the types of bodies that people have and the types of facial hair and body hair that is displayed. And I feel like just by like consuming that media and kind of looking at myself in the mirror and realizing that my body's not that different and that it can look good, it helped me be more confident with it. I think there's also definitely a little bit of validation that I'm getting from outside in. Social media can be very destructive for your mental health, but it can also be a boost to your confidence, and a lot of people talk about it as like a vain thing. But I think that getting validation from strangers on the internet maybe unfortunately helps out with your self-confidence, and you kind of end up internalizing these positive remarks and comments about yourself. So I think that's also where it came from for me. Now I love it. Love my furry chest. Another question is, how do I decide where to shave? I feel like that's very personal, whatever you think looks good. I used to hate a hairy chest, so I would shave it off, and now I think the chest looks good, so I keep it on the back and the shoulders. I don't think I'll ever find it cute, but if you like it, then keep them. It's kind of just like a preference thing. Like, do you want a haircut that shows the sides of your face or no? You just decide. It's your body. How do you fade between areas that you keep hairy and areas that are shaved? So I got this question multiple times, especially for like the leg area, because a lot of people were saying that they want to keep their hairy legs, but then if they shave their butt, it looks weird or something like that. So kind of like the technique that I showed for this part for my beard, I would use the same thing. Like progressively give yourself a fade using different attachments or tools that you have so that it looks a little more natural and it doesn't look like you're like wearing pants and it's just your hair and then it stops. Have you ever waxed or done laser hair removal? I've never waxed. I don't know why, I've never really tried it. I think it just looks painful and I'm fine with shaving and tweezing. So I've never waxed. I've done laser hair removal. I did it in a salon for my upper back in New York, but then COVID happened and it stopped. So now I'm doing a laser hair removal kit at home. I actually have a video a few videos ago where my mom was doing it for me, and I think I talk about it a little more there. So if you want to check that out, I'll put that in the description box down below as well. I'm just always reluctant to do things that are permanent because I know that I change my mind a lot. If I had done my chest or I was gonna do my butt with laser hair removal, I feel like I would have regretted it afterwards. So just like think about it. If you end up shaving it like every week or like that often that it starts becoming a hassle, then maybe laser hair removal is good. And finally, the last question that I was getting was about itching slash bumps. So basically the aftercare once you shaved, especially if you clean shave. If you trim, you usually don't have bumps or itchiness, but if you clean shave, which for me would be especially on the neck or on the back and some other areas, it can be very easy to get bumps, which are usually ingrown hair, and it's really annoying and it doesn't look good and it's painful sometimes. I actually was struggling with that a lot, especially when I used to clean shave my butt because I was just getting bumps all the time. And this is the product that I found out about. It's called Buchanan Aftershave Balm Ice Cold. Basically just put that on in the area that you're shaving. It's gonna feel really cold for a minute. It might even sting, like hurt a little bit, but it's very bearable, and this product is actually life-changing. It's alcohol-free, so it shouldn't be hurting that bad, but it's gonna help bumps and itchiness so much. You're gonna love it. Alright, I think these are all the questions that I was getting around manscaping, shaving, and body hair. If you have any more questions that I haven't answered in this video, please leave them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to check out all the products that I link, and also follow me on all my social media. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next week for my next video. Bye!